Mornings with Intention podcast, where we bring you stories from around the globe. Hello, and welcome to Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. Today, I have yet another beautiful guest with me, Betty Mutwiri. Welcome to my podcast. How are you today?
Oh, I'm wonderful, Ewa. I'm doing great. It's a beautiful sunny day in Saskatoon, and being that it's in October, I'm taking every sunny day.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
yes,
It's a little bit overcast here in Edmonton, which isn't too far from where you are. So,
yeah.
yeah, and I'm also soaking up the sun, whatever's left of it, before it gets really chilly. But I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself. We know where you're from, but tell us a little bit more what you do, if you have a big family, things like that.
Well, where do I start? I'm an executive coach and a leadership expert, and I work with organizations to improve cultures of accountability and flourishing. I have been in the field of leadership development and organization development for the last 25 years. Worked as an OD consultant and then became a senior leader in public organizations, and then became a global coach and consultant in the area of leadership and systemic team coaching and equity, diversity, and inclusion. I was born in Kenya and I relocated to Canada about, I would say, 30 years ago. And my husband and I are blessed with three wonderful children. They're not children anymore, actually. They are young adults. They're adulting, other than the last one, 31, 30, and 21. And yeah, we've made our life in Saskatchewan. We love it here. And we go home to Kenya almost every year just to visit our aging parents. So we can say that we are very active dual citizens of Kenya and and Canada. But nowadays it's global citizenship because we find ourselves traveling to many countries. And as someone who's engaged in a global business, I have the opportunity and curiosity to truly travel in very different countries.
Wow, that's amazing and so inspiring. So can't wait to hear more. So let's jump right into the two decades that you've been helping leaders and teams thrive. What
Mhm.
originally actually inspired your journey into leadership, coaching, and transformation?
Wow. So I had a degree in education from University of Nairobi. And when I relocated to North America, I needed to take, further education to get into teaching. And since we relocated from Guelph, Ontario to the US back to Saskatoon, I was required to do that in every jurisdiction. So at one point I applied to join an organization called Leadership Saskatoon, which was an organization that was created to foster community leaders. And that was my first experience in a formal leadership program. And when I was going through that program, I just connected. I connected with the fact that this is adult education. So I would be transferring my skills, from, teaching kind of kids, high school kids, and then getting into adult education. And the essence of my passion was to truly help people be the best that they can be, for them to lead their best lives, for them to tap into their potential. So it just seemed like a great transfer of skills now in adult development, and then doing what my desire was even in education. So that's where my passion was ignited. I took a master's degree at Royal Roads, specializing in leadership, and then again took an executive coaching program both at Royal Roads, and now I'm taking a PhD program again on leadership. So it is a subject matter that I perceive to be common sense, but it actually has a theory of practice. So that is, I like combining the practitioner side of me and the scholar side of me, so that when I'm serving clients, I can actually help them with empirical evidence and things that have been tested and tried and are truly true, because there's a lot of fads in the leadership space. So that's really my passion, is to use my practitioner experience and my scholarly evidence to help organizations and individuals be the best that they can do and have a real influence and impact in the world.
Wow, that's amazing. So, how do you define transformational leadership in a world that is changing faster than ever before?
Mm, that is a very good question. And when I think about transformation, I guess the example or the metaphor that I like to use is the one of a caterpillar, right? It is a worm, it gets into a cocoon, and it gradually transforms in this beautiful butterfly. So just like, the caterpillar goes through that process, transformation always happens through that process. In my research, I found that actually the complexity that we are facing today in this very dynamic environment is the catalyst for transformation. And because we are coming up against, the fourth industrial revolution, there's a lot of digital upheaval that's disrupting how we have worked. The opportunity now is to really go inside and tap into all the potentialities that we have. So that is a process of reflection, is a process of naming what your particular strengths are, and naming all the life experiences that have brought you to this point that can position you to actually be innovative and go deeper. Because I think, disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence are helpers. They don't limit our own potential. So it's a process of truly using those, I guess, disruptors as catalysts for trying something, getting inside ourselves, opening up our creative potential, bringing other collaborators alongside with us so that we can transform. We can actually create something that is value added, something that helps humanity, advances whatever passion that you have, but truly can be a place of real fulfillment and flourishing instead of languishing and feeling like we are defeated by the winds of change and upheaval.
Wow. So, to integrate both research and lived experience in your work, to
Mhm.
narrow it down maybe a little bit, how does this blend of scholarship and practice shape your coaching approach?
It shapes it in very significant ways. So, coaching by essence is you create a space where a leader or coachee can be authentic, can be able to have the reflective space to think about everything that they are up against and get unstuck. So we always say, you want to get someone unstuck. So part of that is confronting the mindset that could be a limiting mindset, right, to getting them to the next level. Essentially, coaching is not the coach telling the client what to do, but is helping create the environment where the individual can actually tap into their untapped resources and also overcome the limiting belief, or which could be imposter syndrome, fear, really spread out thin. And I use my lived experience as someone who's seasoned in this field to evoke some of that awareness. Right. So
Mhm.
everyone has their own story, everyone has their own path. So being able to integrate their life experience, and for me, I try to use autoethnography, which means is look into your own path, because that's where you see the the gems, right, that haven't been fully reflected upon, that you can actually turn into opportunities, and also be aware of the context that you're in, because everything is contextual, right? And understand what the environment, what the system is, is informing you, and how you can go ahead. So in systemic team coaching, we usually go future back. So what is the future calling us to be? Instead of saying this is what I want to do, but can you do some forecasting about what is happening in the global environment, and think about what is the future calling us to be first, so that when you're creating a program, or when you're thinking about solutions, they can be grounded in the realities that you're living in now. And then we think about the outside in. What are your clients asking you to be? What is the opportunity of the market? What is the opportunity for the organization to play a better game or to level up? And as individuals, what is the opportunity given the future back perspective and the outside in perspective? How can you level up, right? And that comes with development. That's where now we start going into who you are and also equipping them with the skills that they need to adapt and to be agile.
Wow, beautiful. So well said. So what would you say, and I'm sure you have many stories to tell, but what are some of the most powerful shifts you have witnessed when individuals truly align with their unique leadership identity?
I have seen huge transformations. And I have to start with one where I met a client. Usually have sustained relationships where, leaders meet me at the beginning where they're completely unstuck, they don't know what to do. And we curate a program. So one of the ladies that the CEO of an organization that I met was a fairly young CEO. They had been promoted to this rank and they had huge potential. However, they found a circumstance that was way beyond what they had expected in terms of budget deficits, dysfunctional teams, a very competitive culture. And through our conversations, they were really able to tap and ground themselves on who they were, despite the fact that they were a demographic that was encountering a lot of resistance, from external stakeholders. They were able to truly anchor into their strength, that demographic that they represented, which was a Gen Z environment, leading mostly boomer environment. And think about what is the value add? What can I do and how can I present and show up in this environment in a way that is completely authentic, as well as helping influence the other mindsets that could be resisting myself, maybe due to experience or age. And fast forward 2 years ago, they have met all their financial metrics. They have transformed the organization into a culture that is extremely empowered and empowering. They have increased their impact from the services that they used to and collaborated with key stakeholders that will continue to expand their relevance and impact into that community and beyond. So that is the power and of partnering with specific leaders to show them that what they perceive may be limitations could actually be turned to strengths. And just to see the confidence of this young CEO and the kind of influence and impact that she's having in our organization is one of the many examples that I see every day.
Wow. Mm. So it's very inspiring, everything you said. So thank you so much for that. Now I want to shift a little bit to something different, which
Mm.
congratulations on becoming a collaboration author in the book that actually just launched last week, I believe. The
Yes, and it's
Passion.
an international bestseller.
Congratulations. So it's called Passion, Purpose, and Possibility.
Mhm.
So congratulations again. Can you share what inspired you to contribute to this project? Please tell us.
Wow, it just seemed to resonate. The words passion, purpose, and possibilities. I'm like, that is a book that I need to contribute in because my practice is all about evoking and igniting the passion people have. The passion really helps you overcome so many limitations. If you're not connected to purpose and passion, it is very hard to be able to maximize possibility and potential. And I had actually authored my story in a different book called Courage, Change, and Faith, Inspiring Stories of Black Women Leaders. And incidentally, the chapter of my book was Passion, Purpose, and Potential. So there just seemed to have been quite a huge synergy. I just thought, yes, this is speaking my language. This is what I love. This is what I talk about every day as a coach. As this is my way of being. I love and I live in my passion. I create possibilities almost every single day for myself and others because I do believe that there are so many barriers and obstacles However, we can still pivot, we can still be creative, and keep going. The idea is to keep going. Um, and living on purpose is the number one thing that helps you have that endurance along the journey, because it's not always pretty. But you can endure through the difficult moments as well, because you know that this is your purpose. This is why. This is your unique identity. This is your purpose for contributing to humanity. So those three just seem to rhyme and to connect to each other. You can take one aspect out of it.
Yeah.
But
So would you say these are your key takeaways that you hope your readers will take away from reading your chapter, or do you have something else?
I have offered the model that I've simplified, because being in the leadership space and being a leadership coach for over close to 20 years now, I've been exposed to a lot. But I've come to curate a very simple but not simplistic process where people can use for self-coaching as well. Right? So I give ideas on how to actually either start on your journey or recalibrate or your journey or amplify your journey using the 3A process. So it's almost like a workbook, so to speak, to help people reflect on their own journeys and to create and amplify or recalibrate. So yes, I give readers an idea of how to go about their own. And if they connect with me, I can give them, I can send them a workbook, a reflective workbook, so that they can actually use that to get even deeper into their reflection and transform the dreams to reality.
That's amazing. So, and of course, if you're watching this podcast, all the information to get in touch with Betty and find the book will be all posted as links in this video. So don't worry, it's all gonna be there. So you've also received incredible recognition globally, as you mentioned a little bit. What do these awards mean to you personally, actually, like on a personal level? And how do you stay grounded through your such success?
Wow, that's a very insightful question, because I was actually writing a chapter on that in my PhD thesis. And the recognitions have been fabulous. I've received over a dozen recognitions, both nationally, locally, and internationally. And what for me, they signify that living on purpose and activating your passion works. When I came, I had to start over, but I believed in myself and I had faith in the providence that is there. I have an abundance mindset. So again, it goes back to mindset, right? I talk about the mindset that I decided to adopt when I came here is one of, I'm not going to listen to everything that women with my social identities, I'm a female, I'm a Black woman, I'm a minority. I just refuse to adopt that mindset. I decided to say, you know what? I think there's something here for me I can add value to. And that mindset, according to one of the scholars called Keegan, is called a self-authoring mindset. So how do you actually author your own destiny? And that is a process that I am grateful for. And I'm grateful for everyone who's helped me on this journey, because you never get that level of success on your own. So those awards are really a reflection on the people who came alongside me as mentors. And my husband has been extremely supportive in this journey, because it takes sacrifices. My former bosses who truly saw the potential and were able to give me, huge responsibility, and I was able to prove them right. My community of friends that is always there, circle of support, my children who are my inspiration. Because when I think about the next generation, I think about, yes, I need to inspire them. I need to help them see that they have a journey. Despite them being minorities, they can actually also, ignite their passion and their potential and add value in this community. It is ours, and we all have to contribute to. So those awards are a recognition that having the right mindset works.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I was passionate about coming to this uh, podcast, because I talk a lot about mindset, because it is the mindset
Yeah.
that really helps you see the possibility or decide that possibility is not for you. And the fact that I was recognized for the different initiatives that I have been able to successfully initiate and execute, it is a testament to the power of having the right mindset. So it is affirming. I affirm, and I'm so grateful for everyone who has been supporting me. I stand on the shoulders of very many supportive people, and mostly to God. I'm faith-based, and I do believe that just being able to partner with God on this journey has given me a lot of favor and a lot of wisdom in terms of what I need to do to be able to understand when is the Kairos moment. And that means when is the opportune moment to get on some initiatives. And some of that I cannot credit myself. I do have to credit God, who is my higher power.
Wow, that is so well said, and it's true. If like thing that popped up to in my mind is if you don't have it, build it, and if you already have it, make it rise and build
Yeah,
something even better. So such profound wisdom right there. Thank you for sharing that. So
thank you.
Fanny, what advice would you offer to our listeners who are ready to rise, lead, and thrive with more purpose and impact in their own lives?
I would say a lot, but the two things that are becoming very clear to me is, especially at this very disruptive age, we need to get inside first, right? Pause, get inside yourself, get a thinking partner, someone who is going to challenge your thinking and help you rise beyond what you think is possible. And then figure out what strengths do you have, and look at, scan the environment, do that environmental scanning. And what I talked about, future back, outside in, think it from that perspective. How do my skills right now, how do my strengths fit into the bigger picture, and how do I partner with these rising technologies to actually amplify my impact? So it is more from a very strength-based perspective, but it first starts from going within and then without. So you're thinking really about how do you achieve that mindset that says there is enough here for everybody,
Hmm.
and I'm going for my share of abundance,
Wow.
not have that limiting belief. And sometimes when we're just in ourselves, we can get lost, right? There's
Oh
so
yeah.
much to sift. And that's why, people enlist me as a coach, because I can help them overcome those mindsets. I can help them actually craft a path of fulfillment and flourishing, because fortunately, I've been through that path. I'm still going through that path, and I know it works. I'm not talking from theory, right? I can also be able to, give nuggets of wisdom along the path as they discover their own path, because I've proven it works.
Hmm.
It works. So getting a coach, partnering with a coach really helps. And I'd be
Definitely.
happy to support anyone along that path.
Yeah, because I remember when I went to coaching, uh, before I signed up, I was like, I can read and write, but I need a coach who's gonna
Yes,
coach me through the times where my mind doesn't want to listen, right? And
yeah,
that's exactly what happened. I got coach, I got another one. It depends what you're working on, and
yeah,
it helps tremendously. So thank you
yes,
for
it
sharing
does.
that. So
Yes.
last question, of course, is I have a special question on Rise and Thrive Mornings with Intention. It's called. How important do you think it's to set intention for the rest of your day?
It is 100%, 100% very critical. I was just talking with my daughter this weekend about that. And we said, sometimes we have busy schedules, but it is so important to pause before your feet hit the ground or before you start the business of the day, to really set an intention of what you want that day to look like and feel like, right? I have always an intention of how do I want to show up? How do I want to add value in people's lives? How do I pause throughout the day to tune in to my inner wisdom, right? Because sometimes we can feel like, we need to do, but we were not meant to be human doings. We are meant to be human beings. And there's an aspect of intuition that can only come when you're still. So being still at the beginning of the day, setting an intention of how you want to impact your world that day, whoever is going to come across your world that day, what is it that you want to be able to impart to them as a gift? And when you're thinking about meeting with others, how can you actually collaborate? Because nowadays we're in the world of collaboration, right? And how do you want to show up? How do you want to be remembered? What emotional wake do you want to leave after that meeting? And what is the thing? And also think about the evening kind of intention or closing reflection and gratitude. What do you want to say thank you to at the end of the day, right? So that makes you more aware of not just to live, not to go through life um, in the motions of the day, but to be very intentional because you've thought about that. You've been reflective when you're rising in the morning on how you want that day to feel like and feel like and sound like.
Wow, I love that. So much golden nuggets, so much wisdom here. I am blessed. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. Thank you everyone for listening. Betty, it's been an honor to meet with you and sit with you and talk about everything you've shared. So thank you so much for being here. Truly hope everybody has a wonderful day. And thanks, Betty.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much, Shiwa. That was beautiful. I just loved your questions. I love being here with you. And thank you so much for inviting me to be on your
You're
podcast.
very welcome. And thank you guys. And so don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my upcoming episodes. And of course, if you like to go back and re-listen to some other ones, it's all there for you. Thank you and have a great day.